Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into a really pivotal choice for IT and security leaders. It's all about how to best implement privileged access management, or PAM.
Yep.
And you've shared some excellent sources with us, laying out, well, two pretty distinct paths, using Delaney's professional services or going for a more hands-on, do-it-yourself DIY approach.
Right. And PAM implementation, just to level set, it's fundamentally about locking down access, securing those critical systems, that sensitive data. It's absolutely foundational for good security posture. So our mission here really is to sift through these sources you've provided, pull out the most important insights. We want to help you figure out which path might genuinely be the best fit for your needs, thinking about your resources, your team's expertise, and what your main priorities are.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because, when you're dealing with something as critical as PM, the real question isn't just if you implement it. It's fundamentally how. Do you bring in the specialists, the experts? Or do you kind of empower your own internal team to handle it? Both routes have clear upsides, but also definite trade-offs. We need to explore those. Let's start with Delaney's professional services. What are the benefits there? The sources seem pretty positive, highlighting immediate access to Delaney-certified pros. And these aren't just generalists, right? They have deep, specific PAM knowledge. So it sounds like it's less about just getting the work done and more about de-risking the whole process, maybe accelerating things.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. When you go with professional services, you're looking at genuinely customized solutions. They're deployment strategies. They're tailored specifically to your business needs. It's not some cookie-cutter thing. Think of it like bespoke tailoring versus off-the-rack. And critically, compliance assurance. They make sure your setup aligns with all those regulations, those security standards. It's not just ticking a box, it's embedding best practices right from the start. Plus, you get ongoing support, dedicated help for troubleshooting, updates, long after the initial setup is done. And the sources also mention structured training, Delinea University, private sessions. That's really key, making sure your own staff are ready, properly enabled, and maybe most importantly, scalability. These solutions are built to grow with you, handling complex hybrid environments. It's kind of like future-proofing your access controls.
Okay, so speed, compliance, expertise, scalability. Sounds compelling. But like we said, there are always trade-offs. What are the potential downsides or considerations when you opt for professional services?
Well, that's where resource allocation and control come into play, isn't it? The big one often is the higher upfront investment. It can definitely save money long-term, but that initial cost, that can be a hurdle, especially, for smaller organizations. There's also a degree of dependency. You're relying on those external professionals, at least initially, maybe for major changes later too. And while they do offer customization, sometimes their established best practice methods might mean a little less flexibility in the day-to-day process compared to doing it all yourself. They have a proven blueprint, which is good, but maybe less room to deviate.
Right, okay. So given those points, the cost, the potential dependency, when does it really make sense? Where do these professional services truly become the optimal path?
Yeah, you see a pretty clear pattern in the sources. Delinea's services really shine when the stakes are highest. Think complex requirements, strict compliance mandates, like a large-scale deployment across a big enterprise maybe, or industries like finance, healthcare, government, places where they absolutely cannot afford a misstep.
Okay, high-stakes environments.
Exactly. Or if you have limited internal IT resources or maybe just lack that specific PAM expertise in-house, that's a big one. Also, urgent implementations. If you need rapid deployment, a quick turnaround time, professional services are built for that speed and accuracy under pressure.
Makes sense. Speed and reducing risk when time is critical.
And if you're looking for that long-term support and maintenance after implementation, that's baked in. Or, and this is crucial, if you need complex custom integrations. Think about connecting PAM with your other core systems, like ITSM tools, maybe ServiceNow, or IGA solutions like SailPoint, even SIEM tools like Splunk.
Yeah, those integrations can get tricky.
Incredibly tricky. It's not just basic connections, it's workflows, data mapping, ensuring least privilege works across everything. That's where that deep specialized expertise really pays off. It's about getting that comprehensive industry compliance setup right.
That's a really important point about those integrations. It's not just plug and play.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something interesting. Even if you're leaning DIY, Delinea has options. Sort of a middle ground.
You picked up on a key nuance there. Yeah, it's not always strictly either. Many organizations find value in, let's say, more targeted help. strategic injections of expertise. The sources mention things like jumpstart packages, fixed price deals for rapid deployment, getting you started with best practices, maybe a pilot, or advisory services, smaller consulting gigs for specific roadblocks, maybe help with scripting or just transferring some knowledge to your team. They also offer health check services, reviewing an existing setup to optimize it. And of course, comprehensive training programs like we mentioned through Delinea University or private sessions. So yeah, these options let you tap into expert help exactly where you need it without necessarily committing to the full end-to-end professional services engagement. It provides flexibility.
Okay, that's good context.
Yeah.
So flexible options exist. Now, let's flip the coin. Let's talk about the do-it-yourself, the DIY approach.
Yeah.
What's the main draw there? Why do organizations choose to tackle this themselves?
Well, the most immediate appeal for many. It's cost savings, plain and simple. You avoid that potentially significant upfront expense of external consultants. DIY also gives you, or at least feels like it gives you, full control. You oversee everything, adjust the process as your team sees fit.
Total control.
Right, and it's a massive opportunity for skill development. You build that valuable PAM expertise right inside your own team. Hands-on learning. Plus, there's flexibility. You can implement iteratively, go at your own pace, maybe phase it out, and you can be really selective about where you spend money, tools, specific training, fitting it tightly to your budget.
Makes sense. Cost control, skill building, flexibility. But taking it all on yourself, especially something complex like PAM, must come with challenges. What are the main hurdles or cons with the DIY route?
Oh, absolutely. The sources are quite clear on the potential pitfalls. First off, it can be way more time-consuming than you might expect, especially without prior PAM experience. People often underestimate the sheer scope.
Scope creep.
Yeah, totally. And then there's the risk of errors, misconfigurations. And with PAM, these aren't minor issues. A mistake here could genuinely compromise your most critical assets. It's like leaving the vault door unlocked. The potential cost of a breach fines, reputation damage, recovery efforts can dwarf any initial savings from going DIY. It's a serious risk.
A critical point.
Yeah.
The cost of getting it wrong is high.
Incredibly high. It's also very resource intensive. It demands a lot of time and focus from your internal team, pulling them away from other duties. And the learning curve. It can be steep. PAM solutions are complex. Your team might struggle, especially initially. And scaling it up. Managing a large enterprise-wide implementation purely in-house, that can really stretch internal capabilities, maybe beyond their limit.
Okay, so significant risks and resource demands. Given that, when is DIY the right call? When do those benefits of cost saving and control actually outweigh the risks?
DIY really finds its sweet spot in certain scenarios. It's often a good fit for, say, small-scale implementations, maybe a pilot project where the scope is contained, the stakes aren't quite as high. Organizations that already have in-house IT teams with solid PAM experience, they're obviously much better positioned to succeed with DIY. They've got that foundational knowledge.
But if you've already got the skills.
Exactly. And sometimes budget constraints are just the overriding factor. If the budget simply isn't there for professional services, DIY might be the only option, though. Again, you have to weigh that risk calculus very carefully. It's also the path for businesses that truly prioritize having complete granular control over the whole process, maybe for unique internal reasons. And use cases with lower complexity, minimal compliance pressure, those are better suited for DIY. Also, if the main goal is actually team development, building that deep, hands-on PAM expertise, then the learning process itself is a key benefit of DIY. So think cost-conscious organizations, phased approaches where you can learn and adjust gradually, situations where you have time flexibility, no super tight deadlines. That's where DIY can make a lot of sense.
Okay, so we've really dug into both sides now. Delinea's professional services, the DIY approach. We've looked at the pros, the cons, the best fit scenarios for each. What's the bottom line here? What does this all mean for you, the listener, trying to make this call?
Well, ultimately, there's no single right answer, is there? The best choice really depends heavily on your specific context, your resources, your team's current expertise, your biggest strategic priorities. Professional services, as we've seen, offer that speed, that precision, the compliance assurance, the ongoing support. That makes them often the ideal choice for those really high-stakes, complex, compliance-heavy deployments where security just has to be absolutely right first time. DIY, on the other hand, offers those clear cost savings and that complete control that makes it suitable for, simpler implementations, smaller scales, or when the primary driver is building up that internal skill set from scratch.
And it's crucial to remember that nuance we talked about, right? It's not always a stark binary choice.
Yeah.
Even if you're leaning DIY, those flexible delinea options, the jump starts, the advisory services, they can bridge the gap. They offer that critical expert support just when you might need it most without locking you into a full engagement. It's about using resources smartly, mixing and matching, perhaps.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance for your needs. Which leads to maybe a final thought to consider. In a world where cyber threats are constantly shifting, constantly evolving, what is the right balance of internal knowledge and external expertise that will truly future-proof your organization's PAM strategy going forward?